Wow. I have literally the worst timing ever because this news literally dropped like 3 minutes before my awesome video where I was like, amazing Nintendo Switch 2 news. I think I literally cursed the Nintendo Switch 2 because everyone's been so negative about it, which rightfully so. And then I came in, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look at all the positives, and I made this awesome video of all the positive news. Yeah, no, the world was just not having it. We literally just got the news that Nintendo of America, let's make this very clear that this is only happening in America, has had to put a statement out saying that the April 9th date, which is the day that all of us was expecting to be able to pre-order the system, can no longer go forward. They have said due to the tariff prices that are going on right now, they are gonna have to assess the situation and figure out what to do. What does that mean? That could mean a few different things. I have my own theory of what this means. And in today's video, I wanna discuss what this means, how it affects us, will it affect us really badly? If it does affect us, all that stuff, we're gonna talk about it all. We're gonna speculate together on what this means for the future of pre-ordering a Nintendo Switch 2. Now, if you're not subscribed already, please make sure to backslash that subscribe button. We've been uploading videos on the Nintendo Switch 2 every single day. In fact, we're going to be doing a video on the best way to pre-order the system once we get more information on when we'll be able to pre-order the system. Today was supposed to be the video that I made where we're gonna tell you the best advice of pre-ordering the system, and Nintendo was like, nope. Tariff prices were like, nope. Everyone was telling me nope. Just wasn't meant to be, but that's something that will be coming in the future, so stay tuned. Now, when Nintendo put out this statement, it didn't really surprise anyone because these tariff prices were announced a few hours after the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation. So some people were wondering if that $450 price tag of the Nintendo Switch 2 was going to stay. But what we weren't expecting was Nintendo to be straight up and be like, yeah, you can't pre-order the system right now, which is leaving a lot of questions as if there's a potential price increase already happening on the already controversial priced Nintendo Switch 2. Now, in my opinion, I don't think that that's what's happening here. I think the reason why the pre-orders have been put on hold is because I think Nintendo is trying to figure out how much stock they truly have, because what I think is going to end up happening is they're not going to make as much as they had originally planned to bring over here. Now, according to some articles out there, there's already a decent amount of Nintendo Switch 2s already here to avoid scalpers and making the system hard to find, kind of like how previous Nintendo systems have been. Now, that was about a month ago. I'm sure Nintendo's plan was to continue bringing that type of stock into this country, but other than that, there's been recent things that's kind of put that on hold. Nintendo had a plan to come back at this tariff prices that were going on, which was moving the system from China to Vietnam when it came to the production of the Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo made that decision, which is interesting that they even went that far, which goes to tell you that they are paying attention to this stuff and are trying to make the system as not expensive as we are hoping it not to be, which ended up being $450, but Nintendo is trying their best is what it looks like if they're picking all these decisions of moving the production, because that's a big decision that Nintendo did and something you just really didn't expect. The problem with that decision is that it was announced that these issues are going to happen in Vietnam, which is where the Switch 2 is being produced at over here to America. So I'm really left not knowing what's gonna happen. I know people are worried that Nintendo is going to make the system already more expensive, but to me, I don't see that being possible. I do think a price increase will happen in the future with this system. However, what I think is happening is Nintendo literally is just counting what they have, figuring out what they can sell, how much they can get before these major price increases happen, and how they're going to pull this off. And like I said, I do think a price increase is happening, but I don't know when. I initially thought that a price increase would probably happen a year from now. However, the fact that Nintendo is already making a statement like this makes me think that we could see a price increase happen sooner rather than later. I feel like still probably late this year, early 2026 is when the system could rise in price. What is that price point? I honestly am not sure. If we are to look at the tariff prices, Vietnam adds an extra 48%. So if we put 48% on top of the $450, let me make sure I got this correct. That makes it to be $657. I don't see Nintendo selling a system for that, but at the same time, I don't think Nintendo wants to lose a crazy amount of money on selling just one unit. One of the things about the Switch 1 is that Nintendo was actually making profit off each console that was being sold. Now, what you guys don't know is that a lot of the times with consoles, they actually are losing money when they sell you that console, and they are expecting to get it back from you guys buying like first party games for that system. So PlayStation and Xbox never profit off one unit being sold. Nintendo, however, has been able to change the game to where when the Switch 1 sells, they're immediately making profit even without first party games being sold. And I think Nintendo wants to probably continue doing that, but these tariff prices are going to avoid that happening. And it's really scary to see because I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to releasing this console, because I thought that Nintendo was going to be able to come back at the scalpers and all of that. But the fact that this is happening, I don't think there's going to be as many Switch 2s here in this country as we thought there would have been. And on top of that, now I'm not thinking this is the official date that Nintendo is going to have all retailers having the system available for pre-order, but if you are going with the Nintendo strategy of pre-ordering it on their website, you're going to have to wait till May 8th. They're going to send you a link in hopes for you to be able to use that link to purchase the Switch 2. And if we do the calendar of that, that is literally less than a month away from June 5th. It is a giant mess that's going on with this system, and I don't really know what this means. Other countries have been able to pre-order the system easily. Well, I say easily. It's selling out everywhere, but America seems to be the only place that it's going to be really, really, really difficult to get this system, and, you know, question if we will be able to get it for the $450 price. Because the $450 price tag, it's possible we don't even get it for that. It's possible that we get the increase on top of not even being able to get the system at the original announced price. That is a very strong possibility, and honestly horrible timing from Nintendo's part of view. I can't believe that the moment they announced that this system was being produced at Vietnam, that 2 hours later, that this whole tariff stuff happened in Vietnam. It is absolutely crazy. I feel like there is a possibility that Nintendo may not even do pre-orders for the system. All I'm gonna say right now is maybe be ready for the possibility of the system being not $450.
Quick editor note, someone found on the Nintendo webpage that the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order page does not actually show the price anymore. So keep that in mind with everything Max has already said and what he's about to say.
A strong possibility where the pre-orders are going to be a lot more difficult than it already was going, because, you know, a lot of us know Nintendo's history of pre-orders. It's like they only make one. However, Nintendo said they've made plenty. However, I want to know when they said that if they had already planned on having so much over already, how much they plan to have over. Are they still going to be able to bring as many Switches over here to America than what the plan was? I think everything is about to change for when the system releases, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope there's no price increase for the system, because that is going to already make the movement of lower the price already very much stronger. And those people that are asking for the system to be lowered are probably going to be begging now for the $450 price tag if Nintendo increases it. I don't feel like Nintendo is going to sell the system for over $600. I think Nintendo might just bite the bullet and realize, hey, we're not going to profit on the system. Our first party games, we'll increase them to $80, and then that's where our profit will come from. If I'm Nintendo, if I'm guessing, looking at Nintendo's point of view, I feel like what's going to probably end up happening is the system does increase, but I think the price point that you'll see that system be is probably $50 to $100. And I'm still feeling strongly that that won't happen until next year, maybe late this year. And if it happens this year, earlier than later this year, it's just due to the fact that they can't get enough Switches here in time, and they're just gonna have to bite the bullet to, you know, get more Switches and not lose as much money, which it's gonna be interesting. I think this will be the first time, if Nintendo doesn't increase the price, that they're losing a significant amount of money on a console, because Nintendo has always been one of those companies that they don't want to lose money essentially on something. They've done that with pretty much all of their consoles. So scary times right now, man, scary times. But if you're not in America, you have nothing to worry about. You could probably pre-order the system right now. I think I read that in the UK it's selling out like crazy. I think in France you're gonna be able to pre-order it soon. You're probably gonna be okay. It's just us that live in America, we're probably screwed, but that's okay. At least some people get the Switch 2. We'll eventually get our Switch 2. It might take us a few months. Nintendo has said that the release date is not going to change for the system. I saw a lot of people worried that, are they going to delay the Switch 2? All the retailers and Nintendo themselves have said that the June 5th date will be here to stay. So we'll eventually get our Switch 2s. It's just, I'm curious. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I see so many different things that could happen with the pre-order situation of this. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens, how long we're now going to have to wait for said pre-order, because you got to consider the points that we're less than 2 months away from the system at this point. I'm sure Nintendo doesn't like that you can't pre-order it right now when you're so close to that system. Nintendo's website being May 8th. Does that mean other retailers are going to have to wait till May 8th? I don't know. There's a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but hopefully we'll get those answers pretty soon from Nintendo. Like I said, I will be doing a pre-order guide on how to get this system. I don't want to reveal my tricks yet because I got a few tricks that I'm not seeing many people talk about. And yeah, so stay tuned for that video. We're just going to wait till we know when the system is going to be available for pre-order. And it might just be possible that Nintendo at this point just be like, hey, you can now pre-order the system right now. I have seen Nintendo do that many times where they shadow drop a pre-order and everyone goes crazy. I know that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, when they showed off their systems, you could pre-order it right then and there. With us being so close to the system, to avoid all these issues, they might just shadow drop it. Either way, people aren't going to be happy. It's going to sell out. I know people are thinking with the whole price controversy, it's not going to sell out. It is going to sell out for sure now with these issues. Stay tuned, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this situation unfolds. Guys, I have been talking for way too much. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, check out the Discord, check out the Instagram. I'm starting to upload more content on Instagram. Really, it's just like the shorts that we're posting on here. So if y'all can give me a follow on Instagram, maybe I'll start posting it on Twitter too. Don't really know how the Twitter algorithms work. I need to learn more about this social media algorithm because I'm only focused on YouTube, and I'm trying to get all the contents out at multiple platforms because that's what I should be doing. So I will see you guys in the next video. And if you're watching this from another country, did you guys get your system pre-ordered? I'm just curious. Let us know in the comments down below, because most of us that have watched this aren't going to be able to get this system pre-ordered for a bit, most likely. So we'll be like that Squidward image where you guys are flexing your Switch 2 pre-orders and we're Squidward looking out of the guitar window. I've always thought that image kind of looked like a guitar, because you know how there's the inside of the guitar and you can see the inside of the guitar, but it's actually just Squidward's house and it's a window. But like how the scene is, it just looks like a guitar. Come on, I'm not the only one that thinks that, right? Coleman, you know, you probably agree with me. That, I mean, look at it right now. Look at it from my point of view. Like, why did I turn? I don't know why I turned like that. I was going to show you a guitar. I actually have a guitar over there. I could probably prove my point right now, but that looked like a guitar. Squidward looking from a guitar. That's what I'm calling the scene. Why am I talking about this? I'm going to go. I'll see y'all later. Bye. I've been streaming more. Come see our streams, please.